not yours.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's one of the 3 things that I told him in the beginning that I was going to do. So this wasn't like sprung on him. This wasn't, it was a laid out expectation of my life.
Well, now that you're in Europe and you guys have had an amazing trip, before we get into some of the cool things that we've noticed, Brian, who are we not sponsored by?
Ladies, do your breasts fight each other when you're sleeping? Make sure that they stay besties with the breast cushion. Keep them in their happy place. Breast cushion from the Cush Company. Breast support for side sleepers. Cup sizes C or larger. Breast cushion from the Cush Company. Your unofficial sponsor for today's podcast.
That is awesome. I don't know. It does not look that comfortable, but we're going to post it on our Instagram.
I don't like it, but...
What happens when you start getting boob sweat on that thing? What is it made out of?
Does it soak it up?
I think it's like it looks plasticky, but I think it's actually like a little pillow for your boobies.
I think that's the intent, but I don't know anyone's boobs that would do that really all that well.
I wonder if they make like a NAD pillow for us guys.
Maybe they should.
Yeah.
Also known as your dick.
A little taint pillow.
Oh God.
Also known as your chin. Just kidding. I'm loving you.
So you guys just had an amazing trip. And by the way, we're going to be posting all of these photos. I think I've said this before and maybe not posted everything, so I will this time. If you are looking for an amazing tour guide, Cassie, you can raise your hand because, oh my goodness.
It's raised. Here it is.
And you're not doing anything twice. So you're like covering some amazing bases. Like Prague, definitely want to go.
Yes.
You gave me the courtesy of screenshotting the map of the sex museum that you guys are going to talk about and said, do I dare do this without you? And because I know shit can always happen, I'm like, you have got to do that today without me. Obviously, you need to go with Jess right now. And you're like, just kidding. We're going today. Okay, sweet.
We totally went.
So we're going to, and the bar where they were doing probably had 151 in the mix of the pouring. And then the dude with the, like at the ending, the surprise, I'm going to go ahead and repost that somehow. Amazing.
That was Prague. Yeah. Prague had some really cool bars. It was a beautiful city that had a lot of architecture and castles and peaks. And there's a really cool bridge called, is it St. Charles Bridge? Mm-hmm. That had statues on it that goes over the river. The beautiful river, I think, has 7 bridges on it. Just a breathtaking city. But when you get into the bar culture, they like their unique experiences, like a lot of big cities. But they specifically really enjoyed giving you a show. So there's one bar I went to, we recommend Anonymous, which is where you're talking about the mask shirt. Mm-hmm. So if you've ever seen V for Vendetta. Yeah, V for Vendetta.
That's what it seemed like. But they said that it wasn't based off that.
It wasn't based off that, but if you can picture that mask, there was a drink that they would make in the dark. And when they turn the lights up, you see this mask that was making the drink. And they had a wide variety of handcrafted cocktails that all had their own theme. And Jess and I played a game, who can get the craziest cup or cup holder, because sometimes you didn't know what you were getting. So one time Jess ordered a beverage and it came in a wooden cradle, like it was a baby that you would rock. And I got a tiki head, and they're just all these bizarre glassware.
On a knife?
I got one that was set on a knife. Yeah, that was crafted into it. It was pretty cool. It was a blade. So they offered a really unique experience. We watched one girl get served a drink in a glass box that they smoked. It was probably some kind of mezcal drink. And they actually filled the box with smoke through some kind of aeration system, and then brought it to the table and opened it. And then all the smoke comes out, and then you can take your cocktail. So they were all about the presentation.
I didn't see that one.
We didn't get that one.
It was far away because it was a table ordered it.
Yeah, we couldn't see that.
Yeah.
But that was a great bar.
Oh, that was awesome.
Anonymous. And you kind of got to find it. It's like down an alley. You got to go into a building and like down a little bit. So it's kind of hidden.
And they keep the alleyway dark. So you're kind of...
Yeah, you don't know where the hell you're going.
Oh. Yeah, you feel super rapey over there. That's nice.
We were okay.
And then the bar is very fancy.
Yes, the bar was a bit fancy.
Yeah.
So you go to the Sex Machine Museum.
Which was epic.
It was awesome.
It offered a wide variety for everybody, really, for men and women. But the instruments and the machines that they had created back in the day to masturbate or give themselves pleasure just were astonishing. I had no idea how long ago they were creating machines for masturbation. So very long ago. I can't remember the oldest machine we saw, but things made of wood that you would have to manually rotate. I mean, pedal things.
I mean, it went all the way back to old Asian culture times of probably, pre-century, practically. I mean, you're talking really old, fancy Asian jewelry boxes that opened up to a, wooden dildo or one made out of an antler or something, and then...
Yeah, made out of antlers. Just the materials they would use were quite interesting.
The one where, you sit on a box...
Yeah, that one where you sat on so
it was called a smash box or something like that.
Smish mitten.
Yeah.
it was I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain this. So the woman would sit on what appears to be a box, just a standard box with a hole in it, like you would a porta potty essentially, or a toilet.
Or a footstool. It looked like a footstool.
Sure, yeah. But this box linked and locked around a man's or a person's, could be a girl, neck. So it's kind of like that magic show when you saw the woman in half, like those holes that the woman's head would stick out. A guy had put his head into a hole like that was locked into the box, and then the woman would sit on it.
Yes.
Which was kind of epic. It's interesting.
And then they had them designed as chairs too, like fancy chairs, so you could lift up the, an old butterfly chair style. You could lift up the cushion, and then there was a hole in it, and the guy would just slide under the chair. So then when somebody sat on it, it'd be
right
ready
there for you. Yeah. So there were things like that. They also had modern things like the modern sex dolls and masturbation machines. Like they had the fleshlight, obviously, which you've all seen. They had an array of piercings that people are getting, which I had no idea there were so many ways to pierce yourself on your genitals, man and woman. I have pictures of that. We can share that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, honestly, if we could share that, but.
No, I think the ones you did, I was looking at it, I'm like, how's that attached to, you've got to pierce. That is a level of commitment that I'm not sure I'm at.
Yeah, no, I'm not willing to put holes in my genitals. There's enough holes down there already.
I'm not lacing my genitals. I'll just stick with some fishnets.
Yeah, no need to lace closed your genitals. It doesn't need to look like a corset. No one wants that.
No, I think it's going to work just fine. But, yeah. I mean, hey, if you're willing to go that route, oof.
Well, there was also all these old machines that were kind of, I would picture them in maybe the 40s, 50s, 60s era, where they were disguised to be like face massagers and exfoliators. And
that's how they were advertised.
Yeah, that's how they were advertised, but they're actually masturbation tools that have different attachments on them. So we all got curious. I remember my grandma having a face pumice little machine in the bathroom when I was a kid. And I now have to question the design of that machine and wonder, was that really what that was used for? I didn't like where it brought me to a dark place. Jennie, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Did you ever? Okay.
No, I did not. No.
Okay. Are you sure?
I know what you're doing. I'm not looking at you. No, I did not.
I know you're not.
I was just a wee child. I had no idea how to even operate machinery.
And it didn't happen to upon your... No? Okay. All right. You from Prague, you went to the Swiss Alps, and
yes,
you went to the highest point of Europe.
That we did. That was an adventure. It
seemed like when you got off of the railroad or whatever, tram, and I know we're probably running out of computer time. When you got off of there, it looked like you were the only people that got off, that were willing to get off onto that thing, and you were.
Oh my God! Please say "got off" one more time.
We got off. We got off.
Well, we're talking about the Sex Machine Museum.
You got off of the railroad, and you had chunks of snow coming at your face,
94 miles an hour.
94.
It was so extreme. I was thinking you were going to end up as one of those people at like, oh, they died on Instagram trying to get that shot because nobody else on that fucking tour got off.
We questioned that actually. When we went out there. We got ready to go out there. We're in like the foyer of where you would exit the building. And we're like, Jess, I believe it was you that said, if we go out there, do you think we'll just like blow away? Like, what happens if we just like, pew, like you just blow off the building?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a possibility, 100%. So we are going to repost that on Instagram and Twitter. Find us on It Got Weird Pod. And if you have any weird moments, definitely send those to itgotweirdpod@gmail.com. And any other last minutes before we are fighting the power bar of a laptop? Any other last minute things that you guys can think of before power drops off for you guys?
No,
I think, I think we have plenty more stories to tell, but I think we've given you enough to digest on this episode.
Yeah, there's more.
Yes, fuck you, Condom Jack.
Yes,
Fuck you, Condom Jack.
and there was a purple-haired one-eyed lady involved.
Oh, we did meet a
too.
purple-haired one-eyed lady in Prague on the street who saved us from just being stalked by some bar creeps. So that was an amazing experience. She brought us to another dive bar and promptly saved our lives. And
Yeah,
we thanked
that's
her the
another
next
story
day.
too.
There's a little more to that, but that's what we'll give you for now. Maybe we can talk about it next time.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for getting weird with us. Until next time,
Go find a weird moment.
go find it.
It Got Weird Pod is produced using Zoom and engineered by OMG Studios. All rights reserved. It Got Weird Pod 2019. Shout out to our friends Tex and Larry. Tex
and Larry.
Shout out to
Save that.
Shout out to our friends Lex and Terry at the Lex and Terry Show for your continued support. We will trade our dozens of listeners, almost dozens of listeners, for your millions any day of the week. Remember to tune in to It Got Weird Pod.
Bye.
Bye.
With dark hair and soft